All right, ladies and gentlemen, in this video, it's not a vlog. It's really more of a sit down to kind of talk to you guys about, you know, my progress and my journey in online business and how I was able to get to the spot that I'm currently in. How I was even able to afford this car that I'm sitting in right now, which is a BMW X5M competition at 21 years old. It's not that big of a accomplishment, but obviously not everyday 21-year-olds are going to be driving a 620 horsepower car as a daily driver. So first things first, my life has changed completely. If you look at my first ever video that I made, which was a vlog on how one of my clients was able to make $10,000 in a single day, my life has changed completely ever since then. And that was June of 2024, which was a little bit over a year ago. We're currently in November of 2025. And if you don't know what I do, I pretty much work with content creators, influencers, and help them make money online by selling courses or programs or whatever. Also known as scaling info or growth operating, whatever the fuck you want to call it, right? But overall, how I get paid is by having a share of a specific creator's business and obviously doing marketing, sales, and systems for that business to make money on a monthly basis, right? But that's besides the point. I make pretty good money, right? And the reason I'm making this video is because this year I was able to do way over 6 figures take home profit in a single year, and next year is going to be my very first 7-figure year, and I know that for a fact. And obviously in September, as I mentioned prior, I had my very first $100,000 month, over 100K profit take home. Last month I was able to do over 100K as well, not in profit. I ended up profiting a little bit under 100. And this month is going to look like September, another 6-figure month. And now I'm making that a consistent basis. And literally just 2 days ago, I ended up dropping $14,000 in consulting for 3 months, right? Another $5,000 in a specific marketing program. And one thing that I want to let people know is that you never stop learning, right? I know I'm yapping right now and stuff like that, but even at this stage in life, one thing that you don't want to do is, one, be behind, right? And just be using outdated strategies or data in your current industry. And you always want to keep up with what's new and also learn new shit. So this is currently where I'm at. I'm back in my hometown. As you guys saw, I was living in a high-rise apartment. I'm not broke, as you can tell, but I was living with an ex-business partner of mine, and I just, ended up walking away from that deal. And, I just kind of stayed home for, 3 months, realistically, because I ended up moving back in September. So I'm just going to be here till December and go back and, probably get a house or something in January. Don't know yet. But overall, that is currently where I'm sitting at in life. And, if I were to give anyone advice out there and help them get to, their first 100K, because a lot of people focus on making your 10K. Like, that is obviously the hardest part. And I don't like to talk to people that are complete beginners. And the reason I say that is because what I do is not for people that are complete beginners. If you don't have skill set in sales, in copywriting, in some form of marketing or paid advertisement, like, this is very difficult to get into, right? But overall, to make your first $100,000 is actually not that difficult. To make your first 10K, it is, because if you go from absolute zero, you have no resources, no money, then obviously you're not going to spend that money to get a hold of those resources that's going to make you make 10K or 100K the quickest. But this is what you guys need to do. In 2 years ago, I was doing reselling. Then I moved into TikTok shop. All that money that I made, I ended up fucking blowing it on just bullshit. I ended up buying a 5 Series BMW that was like $5,000-$6,000, right? I ended up splurging on stupid clothing items and all that shit. Like, it just doesn't matter, okay? Your first 10K doesn't matter. Your first 20K doesn't matter. Your first 30K doesn't matter. You need to take that money and stop being stupid and invest it into yourself, into knowledge, right? And that is what's going to allow you to get to your first 100K. Not just in a month, but just to your first 100K, right? Which is literally $10,000 a month, right? But do you really want to wait a year to make 100K to your pocket? Fuck no. So the only way to actually speed your process, right, is by paying for information. Now, a lot of people out there don't want to pay for shit. Well, that is why guys like me, that is what guys that you see online that you probably look up to are way ahead of you, because we're just like you. I'm just like every other person here. I'm right here. You're probably right under here. And then people that are in my same industry or people that I've spoken to or got in contact with are right here. I want to learn from people that are right here. I don't want to learn from people that are all the way over here. Why would I learn from someone that is making, I don't know, $10 million a month when I am making $100,000 a month? I'm not saying that is a stupid decision to do. It's absolutely not. But that shouldn't be the first person that you need to learn from, right? You need to learn from the guy that is doing $1 million a month. Then once you get to that, or maybe if you're making 100, learn from the guy that's making $500,000 a month. How did he get there? Because he's only genuinely one step ahead of you. Then after you learn from that guy, go to the guy that's making $1 million a month, learn from that guy. Then you can probably learn from the guy that's making $10 million a month. That is just what life is, right? If you're not willing to invest into yourself, you're never really gonna make it. And I don't mean like, even if you go watch YouTube videos, you're not gonna make it. I mean it in a way that it's gonna take you a longer time that it's gonna take someone retarded like me to actually make money. I had $8,000 in my bank account in March of 2024. And I invested half of that money into a mentorship. It wasn't even one-on-one mentorship. It was just a course. It was just a mentorship, you can call it, a consulting. It was like 5 calls a week. And to this day, I still used a lot of those resources. But to this day, I don't use those resources anymore because I'm a way, higher level mentally, right? Knowledge-wise, scaling fucking different offers. But besides the point, I know I'm like rambling on, but after I spent that $4,000, then I invested $6,000, then I invested $5,000, then I invested $15,000. Now I just invested $14,000, then I invested $5,000. I've invested a lot of my money. If you look at my bank account, you're not gonna see $500,000. You're not gonna see $1 million. That's not the case. You need to be investing. I didn't buy this car till 2 years into my make money online journey. I've been making $30,000 a month since literally a year ago. You didn't see me buy a car as my first $30,000 a month. I bought this car on my first $100,000 a month profit. That is the difference, because all that money that I was making, I was investing it into the stock market. I was investing it into my knowledge. I was investing it into a team. Now I have such a fucking amazing team that realistically speaking, if I genuinely don't want to work for 3 days, I will still make money. I make $2,000-$3,000 a day, not a month. Holy shit, in a single day. And it's not me trying to be egotistical, but it's just really changing your mindset and understanding that the hours and hours and hours that you put in work at home, it is what is going to change you and transform you into the person that you want to become. A lot of us just genuinely avoid doing the work. You want to become the next Prez. You want to become the guy that owns a Lambo. You want to become the guy that has aura, the guy that has all these bitches. Why not just put in the work and you're going to become that guy, right? I'm still at a point that I want more. A bunch of my boys, I'm outside my office right now. I am 21 years old. Everyone in this office area space is probably 30, 40, 50, 60, 7-year-olds, right? My car is a $100,000 car, is the nicest car on the lot. It's a fucking BMW SUV. It's not a fucking Aventador. It's not nothing. It's nothing crazy, but it's the nicest car on the lot. And that should say a lot, right? It is Saturday, 7 p.m. No, actually 6 p.m., 6:15 p.m. on a Saturday. I am the last person here. There's nobody else in this fucking parking lot. Just a bunch of cars from a fucking, solar company that they keep here, but there's no one else in that building. I was there by myself. Today, there was 2 other people in this whole building. And I'm not saying those are not my competition, but do I want to be 40-year-old? Do I want to be 50 years old and, drive a fucking, Honda CRV? No. That's not what I aspire to be. I didn't aspire to be average. I didn't aspire to be like everyday people. Even if they own their businesses, maybe they started, and that's great because you could be 50 and just start a business. But the whole point that I'm trying to tell you is that your competition is just yourself. And that's something that I actually have on my phone. You might see it right here. My only competition is my potential. And I've been at this for way over a year. And this still is the case. I don't see people in my industry as my competition. Like, I know they're doing the same thing as me. They reach out to my clients all the time. It does not matter to me. Because at the end of the day, what am I supposed to do? There are people that are better than me. There's people that are worse than me. That is just part of life. There's people that are way probably smarter than me making more money than me. There's probably people that are stupider than me and making a lot more money than me. That's just life, bro, at the end of the day. But if I was to genuinely make my first 100K, maybe not even in a month, because I genuinely jumped from making $50,000 a month to $100,000 a month, just because I was able to invest my money into team members, because I was able to genuinely invest my money into knowledge, which allowed me to learn new things, which allowed me to get better at marketing, which allowed me to get better at sales, which allowed me to get better at copywriting, which allowed me to do, learn all these skills to be able to make more money. So genuinely, the way that you're going to be able to make 100,000, 200,000, 50,000, whatever the fuck your goal is, could be a month, could be in a year, right? Is by genuinely helping people fix a problem. It's that simple. Or genuinely providing a service to someone that they don't want to do. Do you think a business owner, let's just say for my industry, a content creator that has 100,000, 200,000 subscribers, followers, whatever, and they do day trading, for example, do you think they want to be running their entire coaching program? They want to do the marketing, the sales, assist. They don't know that. They still trade on the side, and they have to make the content. They don't want to do that. So they need to hire, if they're smart enough and they're businessmen, which, mind you, there's a lot of people that are not, and they rather do them themselves, which is stupid. Because in my eyes, I'm like, would you rather make 50K a month profit all to yourself, or would you rather make $500,000 but still end up profiting like $350,000 just because you have to pay a percentage to a sales team and your marketer? Like, there's people out there that still don't want to do that. Maybe it's just because they're Jewish or something. I don't fucking know. But besides the point, all you simply need to do is learn a skill. Luckily, you can learn just one skill and still provide a service to business owners, to agency owners like me, and you'll get paid. I pay one of my sales managers $25,000. Like, his biggest month was $25,000 in a single month, and he was making $3,000 a month prior. Literally the month prior, he made $3,000, and just because he built a skill set of being fucking good at sales. Then a marketer, I pay him $4,000 a month, right? Like, at the end of the day, if you have a skill, right, and you get good at it by providing your services for free at the very beginning, you get those results, you start just genuinely testing things out by yourself. That's how I started. You end up getting paid a lot of fucking money, which is just solving people's problems. That's it. That's literally it. There's nothing else besides that. So take my advice, don't take my advice, but genuinely, I just want to let you know that there's a lot of people out there that are not going to make it. There's a lot of people out there that have, aspirations of becoming great. They have, bunch of skills that maybe don't require them to make money. Like, a lot of people of them, are great artists, great singers, but they never end up doing anything with their life. Maybe they're great basketball players, but they're like 30-year-olds. Like, at the end of the day, I may be yapping, but this video is just for me to sit down and let you know that it's actually not that hard to make money. You just need to change your mindset. And you need to genuinely understand that to make more money, you need to spend money. You probably heard that saying, right? You need to spend money to make more money. That's genuinely what it is. If you're running ads, just take that for example. You might put $1 in and get $4 back. At the end of the day, if I was able to do it, right, and I'm able to sit here in this car right now, right, still be at my parents' house, which, by the way, is intentional, just letting you know before anyone starts to spread rumors or I could show you my bank account, I could show you my fucking stocks investments, I could show you all my fucking wires I get on a month-to-month basis. It's genuinely intentional, right? If I'm able to do it in a small-ass town still, like, I'm not living in Miami, I'm just living in my small ass town, working every day. I got an office and I show up every day before 9 a.m. I show up, I wake up at 7 a.m. in the morning. Probably my competitors and people who are in my industry wake up at 6. They might start working earlier, but still, it's your life at the end of the day. But besides the point, I show up every fucking day. I don't miss a day, and I don't miss a lucky day. That is just what life is about. So, at the end of the day, if you're someone that's just starting out or you want to get into online business, I'm not here to sell you a course, although that's literally what I do for other individuals. I just want to inspire others to genuinely stop being average. That's it. There's too many people that just are too lazy, that are fucking retarded, and just like want me to put them on. I'm not doing that. Stop asking me. Stop going to people saying, yo, put me on. That's not what life is. You got to figure it out. You need to put yourself in the position. When I first started, I didn't go to a bunch of people around me and be like, yo, put me on. I went out and did it my fucking self. I started searching on YouTube. I started applying things. This is not even my first business model. I tried like 3-4 other things. I tried dropshipping, Amazon FBA, wholesale real estate. I tried a bunch of shit that never even made me a single dollar. But then I tried reselling, and I made $500 my first week of trying it. So I stuck with it. I tried TikTok Shop. Then I switched into this. I didn't have the skill set of being a fucking sales guy. I didn't have the skill set of writing emails. I was just decently good at talking to people, and I had connections, and that connections and network allowed me to put myself into this spot. And that's simply it. So, genuinely go out there and get it yourself. Like, stop trying to rely on other people to put you on, and stop trying to rely on other people to genuinely change the perspective and trajectory of your life and your chapter. So if you're out there and being a lazy bum, smoking weed, drinking every fucking week, going out to parties, and then you graduate college, then you want to ask yourself, oh, I'm going to start day trading and I'm going to start doing this and some stupid ass shit. Like, brother, your time has come to an end. If you're 23, 24, 25-year-old and you still haven't tried to learn a skill and try to put in the work to actually get you to a good spot in life where you're making $300,000-$500,000 a year and aspire to make even more, then I don't know what to tell you. Because I met many people in my life that genuinely are lazy as fuck, have shitty work ethic, and still were able to make $20,000-$30,000 a month. Because when you're in that spot, you get extremely comfortable, and I've seen people genuinely get to that spot and crumble down. So my last tip of advice that doesn't even relate to this, but if you do everything that I mentioned and you start making $20,000-$30,000 a month, which is realistically the best spot you could be at, where you are comfortable, where you can afford living in a high-rise apartment, you can afford owning a $100,000 car like this, because my payment is only $1,400 a month, right? And including gas and my insurance probably comes up to like $2,000 a month realistically, right? And then you have a rent in Miami like $3,000-$4,000 a month, and food or whatever, like you're spending less than $10,000 a month and making 30, like you're living a good life. You're living a good life. But if you get comfortable at that, then genuinely you just might be stupid. Because once I got to that spot, if I went below that, I felt fucking poor. Now that I'm making a lot more, I still feel poor. Because now I'm surrounded by people that I have their phone numbers, that I've talked to in person, on FaceTime, on calls, that are making $500,000 a month. One of my clients, who is genuinely one of my closest friends as well, is making over $500,000 a month. Every single month. Profit, after the business expenses, after everything, he's making over $500,000 a month. And he, at that age, which is like not, it's like what, a 3-4 year gap for me, like at that age, that's where I want to be at. So if you're not surrounded by those type of individuals, then you're really never going to have any push to get greater. Because right now I'm at, 6 figures a month. Like, obviously, I've had consistency of 2 months going into 3 months. My consistency is doing that year after year after year. But now that I'm here, now my next step is, okay, cool, I'm here. Let me make $250,000. Then go from $250,000 to half. Then from half to $1 million. That is my goal, right? I don't just want to own a fucking BMW X5. I mean, I love cars. I want to own a fucking Ferrari A12. I want to own a fucking LaFerrari. I want to own a bunch of fucking cars, a Cullinan, a SVJ. Like, at the end of the day, have things that are gonna push you forward. I still gotta retire my parents. I still gotta move my parents out the trenches. Like, even me, bro, like, maybe you don't know my story, but I came from a third world country, the Dominican Republic. English is my second language. Came here when I was 12 years old. I am 21. Yes, I've been here for 9 years. My parents are way below middle class. None of my family members ever graduated college. I didn't even get to graduate. My parents thought I was going to be the one. I never did. Right? And I graduated exactly a year ago in December of last year. And look where I'm at now. It really is just you, bro. It's just you, yourself, and your mind. Nothing else. Fuck what everyone else has to fucking, say about you. At the end of the day, bro, it's just you and you through, bro. And if you have a girlfriend, if you have someone holding you back and not believing in your goals, bro, just cut them off. Straight up. Just cut them off. And trust me, bro, that pain is going to get built up into you and you're going to push forward and accomplish those goals that you have in mind. So, with that being said, I hope that you take some of the advice that I said. I know this video is a little bit long, but at the end of the day, I'm not the best talker. My speech is fucking all over the place. I'm not the best yapper either. I'm just genuinely to myself. But if you do want to talk to me and you do have questions about what I do or how I could help you in any type of way, just follow my Instagram, which is just JacksonXLuna. And just DM me, bro, because I try to answer to everyone. And maybe I come out with, I don't know, maybe a Telegram group or an email newsletter or something that I can provide, value to everyone for free. And we just hit 1K subs, so I'll try to be as consistent as possible. But yeah, trust me, bro, next year's your year. Because last year, I went through so much shit. I was staying up till 5 a.m. working every fucking day while still in college. While still I wasn't working at that time like an actual job because I fucking quit, but I was still trying to figure shit out when I was still making, good money, but I was still fucking scared that I was going to lose it all. So, yeah, just hopefully I can see you at the top, and thank you for watching this video.